Can we talk about Jim Henson in this movie? Because I feel like we need to talk about how bad the depiction of Jim Henson is in this movie. I saw Saturday Night a couple weeks ago at Fantastic Fest. It is in theaters now, but I saw it at a secret screening. So admittedly, I was a little disappointed when I was sitting in the theater at the horror genre film festival Fantastic Fest, and they announced that the movie we'd all be watching is Saturday Night. I was looking forward to seeing this movie because I am a fan of the show, like, not really recently, but more so from like a historical standpoint. And like my dad was really obsessed with like these comedians when I was a kid. So like I'm pretty familiar with all of the people depicted here. And like in terms of the film itself, I think it's fine. I thought it was okay. I didn't love it, but I do think that it allowed for a lot of actors to do like really fun scene work, a lot of like really good character work that was brief, and because there's so many characters, I didn't really feel like there was an emotional through line that connected me to anyone. It felt a little disjointed. I also didn't really buy the ticking clock thing because, I don't know, we know how the SNL story works out. But like, the thing that bothered me the most was Jim Henson. So this is Nicholas Braun as Jim Henson in the movie, and like, he looks okay. I feel like the beard prosthetic could be better. But also, Nicholas Braun is the only person that inexplicably plays two roles in this film. He plays Jim Henson and he plays Andy Kaufman, and they are the two roles that the film seems to be explicitly making fun of also. Both Jim Henson and Andy Kaufman are depicted as like the weirdos on the fringes that don't get along with like the cool, edgy, raunchy people, the cool kids that are working at SNL, which I don't really feel like makes them look all that cool personally. But also, like, even though there was tension between Jim Henson and the SNL cast and writers because truly they didn't understand his vision, but it's not because he was like a self-serious fucking square who was like too wholesome to vibe with the raunchy vibe of like the cool people. It's because he was constantly trying to convince people that like what he was doing could be funny and entertaining for adults. Like the entire conceit of The Muppet Show was him being like, this is an adult show that's like a variety show, just like variety shows exist now for adults, but with puppets. And he loved raunchy humor. I mean, this guy was kind of a dog. Like, I recently read his autobiography, biography. And like, Jim Henson fucked, you guys. Like, I'm sorry. I know he's like, I know people see him as like the head of this like children's entertainment, like wholesome empire, but the Muppets were never wholesome. Like, let's be so serious. They were never wholesome. Jim Henson was fun and funny and charismatic. Like, the dude did drugs. He wanted to make an entire like experimental trippy nightclub. Like, it's a weird depiction to me. I just feel like it does Jim Henson and like his entire legacy such a disservice. And I honestly feel like the fact that so many people think that this is who he was is why the Muppets like aren't getting their due right now, because yeah, the Muppets, especially after they were bought by Disney, have become increasingly like more like for children specifically, but the Muppets are like the original entertainment that was like passable as children's entertainment, that was full of innuendo and raunchy humor, that was just very sly and witty and clever. Like, I think of all of the real people depicted in this movie, Jim Henson is hands down like has the greatest legacy of any of them and is arguably the truest genius of the bunch. But what do I know? I'm a Muppet stan. I just feel like I just feel like the Muppets are timeless, and I feel like it's because Jim Henson understood like the nature of entertainment in a way that very few people do, and I don't know, he deserved better. I probably shouldn't wax poetic about Jim Henson for too much longer, but I love him.